Let's begin by understanding something very important that many older men are never clearly told. When men start to notice a decline in their potency or performance as they age, the first thought that usually comes to mind is size. This is just part of getting older. Society repeats this idea so often that many men simply accept it without question. They believe the body has reached a point where it can no longer respond the way it once did. But in reality, the situation is often much simpler than that. In many cases, the real issue is not age itself. The real issue is what age does to the body if we do not actively support it. Over time, circulation naturally becomes slower. Blood vessels lose some flexibility, muscles tighten, and the nervous system can become less responsive if it is not stimulated regularly. These small changes happen gradually, year after year, often without us noticing. But eventually, they begin to affect areas of the body that depend heavily on healthy blood flow and strong nerve signals. One of those areas is the lower pelvic region. This part of the body relies on a steady supply of oxygen-rich blood and clear nerve communication. When blood flow becomes restricted, or when nerves are not being stimulated properly, the body cannot respond the way it used to. The signals are weaker, the tissues receive less nourishment, and performance slowly declines. This is why many men feel that things are simply not working the way they once did. But here is the part that many people overlook. The body is incredibly responsive when circulation and nerve activity are stimulated again. Even later in life, the human body still has the ability to improve blood flow, relax tight muscles, and wake up nerve pathways that may have become less active. This is why simple physical stimulation techniques have been used for generations to support male vitality. Another factor that plays a quiet but powerful role is tension. As men get older, stress and daily worries often build up in the body. Many people carry this tension in the lower back, hips, and pelvic area without realizing it. When these muscles stay tight for long periods, they can press against nerves and blood vessels that supply the surrounding tissues. This pressure can limit circulation and weaken the natural signals the body relies on. Think of it like a garden hose. When the hose is bent or squeezed, water cannot flow freely through it. But once the pressure is released, the flow returns. The body works in a very similar way. When muscles relax and circulation improves, the body can begin to restore its natural function. And this is why certain pressure points on the body are so interesting from a health perspective. These points sit close to important nerves and circulation pathways. When they are gently stimulated, they can help encourage blood flow, relax surrounding muscles, and send stronger signals through the nervous system. The key thing to understand is that the body does not need extreme or complicated methods to begin responding again. Sometimes it simply needs a small push in the right direction. A gentle, consistent stimulation can remind the body how to activate the systems that support strength and responsiveness. So, before assuming that declining potency is simply the unavoidable result of aging, it is important to look at what is really happening inside the body. In many cases, the issue is not loss of ability, but loss of circulation, nerve stimulation, and muscle relaxation. And when those three things begin to improve, the body often remembers how to respond again. Now that you understand how circulation and nerve activity play such a big role, there is something interesting I want to share with you. Many men spend years looking for complicated solutions, expensive supplements, or extreme treatments, when in reality, the body already has natural points that can influence blood flow and nerve signals. These points have been known and used in traditional health practices for a very long time, yet most people today have never heard about them. On the human body, there are certain spots where nerves, muscles, and blood pathways meet very closely together. These areas are like small control centers. When they are gently stimulated, they can send signals through the nervous system and encourage nearby blood vessels to relax and open up. This allows circulation to improve in areas that depend on it the most. One of these points sits in a place that many men completely ignore. It is located on the body in a way that connects to the lower pelvic region through nerve pathways. When this area is stimulated with gentle pressure, it can help activate the nerves that communicate with the muscles and tissues responsible for natural responsiveness. This is not magic, and it is not a miracle trick. It is simply how the nervous system works. The body is full of communication networks. Nerves travel from the brain down the spine and branch out through different areas. Some of these nerve branches influence muscles, some influence blood vessels, and others help control sensation. When a point connected to these networks is stimulated, it can send a signal along those pathways, encouraging activity where things may have become quiet or sluggish over time. What happens to many men as they get older is that these pathways become less active, not because they are damaged, but because they are rarely stimulated anymore. Modern lifestyles often involve long hours of sitting, less physical movement, and constant stress. All of these things reduce the natural stimulation the body once received through daily activity. Years ago, people walked more, worked with their hands more, and moved their bodies throughout the day. That natural movement helped keep nerves active and blood flowing. But today, the body often spends long periods in the same position. Over time, the nervous system simply becomes less engaged in certain areas. This is where the power of a specific pressure point becomes so valuable. By gently massaging this small area, you can encourage the body to reconnect with those nerve signals. The stimulation travels through the nerve pathways and can help wake up the communication between the brain and the lower parts of the body. Another important effect is muscle relaxation. Around many nerve pathways, there are layers of muscle tissue. When these muscles stay tight for long periods, they can slightly compress the nerves and blood vessels nearby. Gentle massage helps release that tightness. As the muscles relax, circulation becomes smoother and nerve signals move more freely. Many men are surprised when they learn that something so simple can have a real influence on how the body responds. But the truth is, the body has always responded to touch and stimulation. This is the same reason massage therapy is used around the world to help improve circulation, reduce tension, and support overall wellness. The key is not force. It is not about pressing hard or trying to rush the process. Gentle and consistent stimulation is what encourages the nervous system to respond. When done correctly, the body begins to recognize the signal again, almost like waking up a pathway that has been quiet for too long. Over time, that small daily stimulation can help support better circulation, improved nerve communication, and a stronger natural response in the areas that matter most to male vitality. Sometimes the smallest point on the body can reconnect the signals that bring strength back to life. Now let's talk about something that may surprise you. Many people assume that if something is going to make a real difference in the body, it must take a lot of time or effort. They imagine long routines, difficult exercises, or complicated treatments. But the human body often responds best to small, consistent actions. Sometimes even a short moment of the right kind of stimulation can start a powerful chain reaction inside the body. When you gently massage the right spot for about a minute, several things begin to happen at the same time. First, the physical touch itself sends signals through the nerves under the skin. These nerves immediately communicate with the nervous system, which is constantly monitoring what is happening throughout the body. When the brain receives this signal, it begins adjusting blood flow and muscle activity in response. At the same time, the gentle pressure encourages the tiny blood vessels in that area to relax and open slightly. When blood vessels relax, circulation becomes smoother and stronger. Blood begins moving more freely, carrying oxygen and nutrients to the tissues that need them. This is important because healthy tissues depend on a steady supply of oxygen-rich blood to stay responsive and strong. Over the years, reduced circulation can quietly affect many parts of the body. This is especially true in areas that rely heavily on blood flow to function properly. When circulation slows down, the tissues do not receive the nourishment they once did. The body becomes less responsive, and many men interpret this as a permanent loss of ability. But often, the body simply needs help restoring that healthy flow. A short massage can also help relax surrounding muscles. As we talked about earlier, tension often builds up in the lower back, hips, and pelvic region as men age. Stress, sitting for long periods, and lack of movement can cause these muscles to tighten without us even noticing. When muscles remain tight, they can place pressure on nearby blood vessels and nerves. When you gently massage a connected pressure point, those muscles begin to loosen. As the tension eases, blood vessels are no longer squeezed or restricted. This allows circulation to move more naturally through the area again. The nervous system also benefits from this relaxation because nerve signals travel more easily when surrounding tissues are not under constant pressure. Another effect that many people do not realize is how massage influences the body's stress response. The nervous system has two main modes, one that prepares the body for stress and alertness, and another that encourages relaxation and recovery. Gentle massage helps activate the calming side of this system. When the body enters this relaxed state, blood flow improves and muscles naturally release tension. This shift is very important because stress alone can reduce responsiveness in the body. When a man is constantly tense or worried, the body focuses on survival functions rather than restoration and balance. But when the body relaxes, it can redirect energy toward healing and proper function. And this is why consistency matters more than intensity. You do not need long sessions or complicated techniques. A calm, 1 minute massage done regularly can gently remind the body to restore circulation, relax tight muscles, and strengthen nerve communication. Over time, those small signals add up, and the body begins to respond more naturally again. Think of it like slowly turning the lights back on in a room that has been dim for years. At first, the change may feel small, but with steady attention, the brightness returns. Sometimes 1 simple minute is enough to remind the body how to come back to life. Now, it is very important to understand that when it comes to techniques like this, the way you do it matters just as much as the action itself. Many people hear about a helpful method and immediately think that pressing harder or doing it longer will give faster results. But the body does not work that way. In fact, when it comes to stimulating nerves and improving circulation, gentle and controlled movements are far more effective than force. The goal of this massage is not to push deep into the tissue or create discomfort. The goal is to wake up the nerve signals and encourage blood flow to move more freely. Your body responds best to calm and steady stimulation. When pressure is too strong, the muscles around the area can actually tighten in response, and that works against what we are trying to achieve. So the first thing to remember is to relax. This is not something that should feel rushed or stressful. Choose a quiet moment during the day when you can sit or stand comfortably. Your body should feel at ease, your breathing normal, and your mind calm. When the body is relaxed, the nervous system becomes more responsive to touch and stimulation. Using your fingers, apply gentle pressure to the spot we discussed earlier. It should feel firm enough that you can sense the contact, but never painful. Pain is not a sign of effectiveness here. In fact, pain tells the body to protect itself by tightening muscles and restricting blood flow. That is the opposite of what we want. Once your fingers are in place, begin slow circular movements. These movements should be smooth and controlled, almost like you are slowly warming up the area. There is no need to move quickly. Slow motion actually allows the nerves beneath the skin to register the stimulation more clearly. As you move your fingers in small circles, you may notice a subtle warmth developing in the area. That warmth is a good sign. It often means circulation is increasing and the blood vessels are responding to the stimulation. Some men also feel a slight relaxation spreading through nearby muscles, which is another positive response. The entire process does not need to take long. Around 1 minute is usually enough to activate the nerve pathways and encourage blood flow. What matters most is not how long you do it in one session, but how consistently you repeat the practice. The body learns through repetition. When you give it the same gentle signal regularly, it gradually begins to respond more naturally. Many people find it helpful to make this part of a simple daily routine. For example, some prefer doing it in the morning when the body is waking up, while others find it relaxing to do in the evening before rest. There is no single perfect time. What matters is choosing a moment when you can focus and perform the massage calmly. It is also helpful to pay attention to your breathing while you do this. Slow breathing naturally relaxes the nervous system and helps muscles release tension. When breathing and gentle massage work together, the body enters a state where circulation and nerve signals improve more easily. Another important point is patience. The body rarely changes overnight, especially when something has developed gradually over many years. But small, consistent actions often create meaningful changes over time. Think of this massage as a way of reminding the body how to function at its best again. When done gently, calmly, and consistently, this simple technique becomes a quiet signal to your body that it is time to restore balance and strength. The body responds best not to force, but to steady and patient care. There is something else that is very important to understand. A simple massage technique can help stimulate nerves and encourage circulation, but the body always works as a whole system. Everything inside us is connected. Blood flow, energy levels, muscle health, sleep, and daily habits all influence each other. So if we truly want the body to respond better, we have to support it in more than just one small way. Think of the massage as a signal that wakes up the system. But the system itself also needs the right conditions to function well. If the body is dehydrated, inactive, and constantly under stress, even the best technique will struggle to create lasting results. On the other hand, when small, healthy habits support the body, that 1 minute massage becomes much more powerful. One of the simplest but most overlooked habits is drinking enough water. Blood is largely made of water, and proper hydration helps it move smoothly through the blood vessels. When the body lacks water, the blood becomes slightly thicker and circulation slows down. For men who want to improve blood flow, simply staying well hydrated throughout the day can make a noticeable difference over time. Another powerful habit is regular movement. The human body was never designed to sit for long hours without activity. Movement acts like a natural pump for circulation. When muscles move, they help push blood through the veins and encourage fresh oxygen to reach different parts of the body. Even something as simple as daily walking can help the heart and blood vessels work more efficiently. Walking also has another benefit that many people forget. It helps loosen the muscles in the hips, lower back, and pelvic region. As we discussed earlier, tight muscles in these areas can limit circulation and put pressure on nerves. Gentle daily movement keeps those muscles more flexible, which supports the natural response we want the body to maintain. Sleep is another major factor that many men underestimate. During deep sleep, the body repairs tissues, balances hormones, and restores energy throughout the nervous system. When sleep is poor or inconsistent, the body struggles to maintain healthy function. Circulation, hormone balance, and nerve activity can all be affected by lack of rest. Giving the body enough quality sleep allows it to rebuild strength and respond better to the signals you are sending through massage and other healthy actions. Stress management is just as important. Modern life places constant pressure on the mind. Financial concerns, work responsibilities, family worries, and everyday tension can quietly build inside the body. When stress becomes constant, the nervous system stays in a defensive mode. In this state, blood vessels tighten slightly and circulation becomes less efficient. Simple moments of relaxation can help shift the body out of that state. Deep breathing, light stretching, quiet walks, or even a few minutes of calm sitting can allow the nervous system to relax. When the body enters this calmer state, blood flow improves naturally and muscles release tension. What all of this shows is that the body responds best when multiple small habits support each other. The massage stimulates the nerves. Hydration supports healthy blood flow. Movement keeps circulation active. Sleep restores the body's internal systems. Relaxation allows everything to work smoothly together. None of these habits require extreme effort. They are simple actions that slowly guide the body back toward balance. And when these habits become part of daily life, the body begins to respond with more energy, stronger circulation, and better natural function. When small healthy habits work together, the body often becomes stronger than we expect. Before we finish, there is one more idea that I want every man listening to really think about. As men grow older, something happens not only to the body, but also to the mind. Many begin to believe that certain parts of life are simply over. They hear people say things like, "That's just what happens after 60," or "Those days are behind you now." After hearing this enough times, it becomes easy to accept it as truth. But the body does not follow opinions. The body follows biology, habits, and signals. And one of the most powerful things about the human body is its ability to adapt. Even after many years, the body can still respond when it receives the right kind of care and stimulation. Circulation can improve, muscles can relax, nerve signals can become more active again. The body is far more capable of change than most people think. The real challenge is not always physical decline. Often the challenge is the belief that improvement is no longer possible. When that belief settles in, men stop trying small things that could actually help them. They stop paying attention to circulation, movement, and daily care for their bodies. And when attention disappears, the body slowly follows that same path. But here is something worth remembering. The body does not need dramatic actions to begin responding again. It usually starts with very small signals repeated over time. A short daily walk, a little more water, a bit more rest, a simple massage that stimulates circulation and nerve activity. These small actions may seem almost too simple to matter, but when they are repeated consistently, they begin to change how the body behaves. Think about how many years it took for the body to slowly develop tension, reduced movement, and slower circulation. These things did not happen overnight. They happened gradually. So when we begin helping the body again, it also improves gradually. That is completely natural. What matters most is consistency and patience. When the body receives the same helpful signal day after day, it begins to recognize it. Blood vessels respond more easily. Muscles learn to relax again. Nerves become more active in their communication. Over time, these changes build on each other. And there is another important result that comes from this process: confidence. When a man begins to notice even small improvements in how his body feels and responds, his mindset changes. He realizes that he still has influence over his health. He sees that his body is not simply shutting down with age, but waiting for the right signals to function better again. Confidence itself has a powerful effect on the body. When the mind becomes more relaxed and positive, stress levels drop. When stress drops, the nervous system becomes calmer and blood flow improves naturally. In this way, the body and mind begin supporting each other again. So instead of thinking in terms of lost years or fading strength, it is far more helpful to think in terms of daily care. The body responds to what we do repeatedly. A simple 1 minute massage that encourages circulation, combined with healthy habits and patience, can become a small daily message to your body that it is still meant to function well. And when that message is repeated day after day, the body often begins to answer in ways that surprise you. Sometimes the strength you thought was gone is simply waiting for you to invite it back.